Hey everybody, very sad end to a great run with uh, the Warriors in Oakland, and one that I still contend, if you asked me, what the beginning of the end of the Warriors in Oakland, where that started. It started when then Oakland Mayor Jean Quan told me she didn't understand the importance of the Warriors to people. Okay, so that was 2014. No, not 2014. Actually, it was 2012. Uh, at the Alice B. Toklas Democratic Club dinner, uh, breakfast. I'm sorry. Um, but very sad. You know, it was a very sad way to close out. Um, and Amendment Forever says Warriors karma for leaving Oakland. You know, I didn't think about that, but you know what? I think you got a point. I think you just might have a point. Because how else? I mean, first of all, I can't see this win. The Raptors did win. They're the NBA champions, 114 to 110. I can't see this win as anything other than a gigantic asterisk, you know? Because of these strange injuries. First there was KD, then there was Looney with his chest, and finally Klay Thompson, one of the two main Splash brothers. So it was just, if it wasn't that, and I have to give this to Nick Nurse, because I said it before and I'll say it again. I feel that Nick Nurse outcoached Steve Kerr for most of that series, because if you look at it another way, the Warriors got swept at home. I never thought I'd see that. They got swept at home. And I think someone made a comment uh, on one of my YouTube channels that the Warriors are not going to lose three at home. Well, three straight. Well, the Warriors did lose three straight at home. Okay? And even Forever says, why should you even care about the Warriors going forward? They're in San Francisco now. They should drop, you know. Here's my take on that, okay? First of all, here's why I disagree. I disagree because of the racist history surrounding why the Golden State Warriors are called just that. And look, the main problem with respect to this story and what we're talking about, okay, is, you know, pure and simple that uh, you have a white-owned media, for the most part, that, by and large, that puts out stories about what happened in the past with respect to sports as if their race had nothing to do with it. But look, there was a book written about Oakland called Oakland is Not for Burning in 1968, and the author, the name of which just slipped my mind for the present, but the author said that he was quite fascinated why a Watts riot didn't break out in Oakland, and everyone was expecting there to be one. And look, Oakland had a history of racial harmony that the outside world didn't get or accept, even then. And there are a lot of theories for it. A lot of people even city people have never really changed policy to embrace it, okay? In that era, all right, we had the passage of the Civil Rights Act in 1964. That was 2 years after the Warriors came to the California and split time between San Francisco and San Diego. The Oakland City Council was predominantly white, even though the city was mostly black, and by 1980, it was 60% black. Um, Oakland was beset by a great deal of what's called institutional investor racism. And it wasn't until Jerry Brown became mayor, white mayor, that the investment started coming back and continued to come back. Okay? Now, that's not a good history to have. And you can't look at the history and then want to take race out of it. It's a cowardly thing to do. And this is all over the Warriors' time in Oakland. Yeah, the Warriors didn't play well. The Warriors had a very loyal fan base, though. And there was, but the city, first, the white council members didn't say, hey, you have to change your name to Oakland, because they, in a sense, didn't have the civic pride necessary to cause that. And then in later years, there was serious talk of doing that. It was even agendized as a city council item, okay? But it never came to pass where there was actually talk of suing the Warriors. This is about 11, 12 years ago. There was actually talk of suing the Warriors because they didn't have the Oakland name, and yet we're enjoying a new stadium that was built with Oakland money, Oakland bond money, okay? Most Oakland and Alameda County, all right? But that never came to pass. It should have, it didn't. And in total, because of Oakland's own issues with being black, as opposed to Atlanta, which is unapologetically black, we got a situation that we have now where you have this there's always been this uneasy identification but lack of love for being black. And so because of that, we haven't done anything at all to maintain any aspect of black culture here, okay? Sean Grogan, the arena was renovated. Technically, that's not accurate. It was actually rebuilt. It was rebuilt in 1998. The arena was rebuilt brand new. And that's not reported. The arena was built brand new, okay, in 1998. And the Warriors went down to San Jose to play, and then they came back. I remember even then, people thought, well, they should stay in San Jose. But the Warriors had no intention of doing that. They were going to return to Oakland. All right? No. Grogan, the whole thing. Not that. What you see, that structure, it wasn't only the inside, okay? The whole structure, including the roof, was replaced. Everything. There was no aspect of that building that was entirely from its previous incarnation, okay? None. I mean, it was completely gutted. They basically started all over again. That's what's lost about this. But the concrete was reused and maintained because, look, that concrete is withstood, and this is what people don't get. That concrete withstood a 6 on the Richter scale earthquake. That structure withstood one of the most powerful earthquakes ever. Okay? So, I, as a person who worked for the mayor of Oakland, follow both organizations, the Raiders, Warriors, and A's, all three of them. You know, I really bristle at the idea that we have this old facility. People who say that have no idea what they're talking about. None. Zero, zilch. And they don't want to do the research to find out otherwise. Let me read your comments here. And thank you all for coming in and participating. I apologize it's late night, but, you know, hey. It's, you know, I watched the game at the Lake Chalet. But I got to say, you know, it's like there are some people who, you know, you go to a place like that, and I had, you know, great dinner, a lot of water, a lot of coffee. I think maybe one Irish coffee, 1.5. I haven't had Irish coffee in a long time, but I had 5 waters and 4 regular coffees, and then a great shrimp Louis at Lake Chalet. And so I'm sitting next to this woman who was with this guy friend of hers, and it turns out that she and I know the same people. I'm not going to get into the names, but she also lives in the Marina District, and I was saying, oh, I'm a regular at the Balboa Cafe, right? But then for some particular reason, she acts like she's uncomfortable sitting next to me, and then in the conversation, I've never met this person before. You know, I've been in Georgia a lot. I have no clue. And so I said, her friend says, well, she doesn't come to Oakland much. She says, I don't come to Oakland at all. And I said, oh, so you don't date black guys, right? And the reason I say that is because in my 56 years and my time here, the one thing that I am an expert on is this kind of institutional racism that comes out of some folks, particularly in the Marina District in San Francisco. And I can I can pick up that in a second when it comes from somebody like that. And I just, I didn't care one way or another. But it was fun to point out because you get to a certain point in life and you think, why is this person acting strange, And now this person, as it turned out, okay, knows Hope Solo, played with Hope Solo in soccer, knows my friend Tracy Ham, knows a lot of people. So you would think that would be a normal conversation, and it was. But she has a discomfort that I haven't experienced in a long time. It was just pure out and out racism. It was no way to hide it. And you would say, what does that have to do with this? Well, I was watching the Warriors game, but also you live in San Francisco. So this is where the Warriors are going, okay? Think about it. That's where the Warriors are going. So folks, there's no, it's really sad. There's no aspect of this that escapes the race discussion. Isn't that sad? I mean, this is 2019, and you would think that we've advanced to a point where I won't experience it. And here's the great thing. I met a woman named Bree, also white, not like that, loves basketball. We were able to have a normal, non-neurotic conversation. I thank God that the Lord allowed me to just talk to, a normal person, right? It's like, hey, right? And, okay. And then, and that was it, But it's just funny how you have this layer of racism that, as a black man in particular, you have to deal with all the time. It's and you say, at what point we're gonna get to a society where people don't act like that? But I say again, that attitude is where the 49ers are going, to the heart of that, okay? And the 49ers, I'm sorry, had the Niners on my mind, is where the Golden State Warriors are going to, all right? Where they're going to. Now I'm going to read your comments. Okay, Emma Forever says, Warriors karma for leaving Oakland. Emma Forever says, why should anybody care about the Warriors going forward? They're in San Francisco now. They should drop Golden State and just honestly just change the name of San Francisco Warriors. I disagree with that, Emma Forever, because it would be a representation of the fact that they didn't want to have an Oakland in their name because Oakland's black. Okay? So to go to San Francisco and then do that, that's exactly what that says. It would have been different if they went to Oakland and were the Oakland Warriors and then left. But you mean to tell me you're in Oakland, you take the city's bond money, and you can't put Oakland in your name? Oh, come on. Seriously? No. Hennessy says, if they change the name, I will drop them. NHL Trump says they're going out to alter the logo, I heard. How? Sean Grogan says, yeah, someone else sent me a message saying I should talk about the Warriors Chase logo. And I looked up the Chase logo and I didn't see anything worth discussing. Am I missing something? Again, how you doing, Sean Grogan? Thank you for saying hi. Hennessy says, to a lot of people, they see Oakland as just a ghetto city. We'll never live up to a city like San Francisco. We are the black sheep. Ray, and I call it out, Ray Ratto made such a comment in Deadspin, and I want to find and read to you what he said, because I actually pointed it out in my blog post on Oakland News Now on the factor of race regarding the NBA Finals and this game 6, okay? And what I said and its meaning. And what I wrote I said NBA 2019 NBA Finals Game 6, last Warrior game in Oakland, the role of race. I'll put the link here, all right? But what I discovered was that Ray Ratto wrote this in Deadspin, and I called him out on it. So bear with me while I scroll down to get it. He wrote as follows. He wrote that he said, "Oh, I wrote next year will be the people of San Francisco." I was talking about something that Max Kellerman said when he says, "People of Oakland, I am here to tell you that Kawhi Leonard is coming for you, and you will lose." But anyway, Ray Rattle is my friend, but I have to call him on this. He wrote in Deadspin that, and here's the quote: "Oakland, as a cultural entity, has always felt like the dog to San Francisco's Walker, wrong end of the Bay Bridge." And I wrote, "Why, Ray? Because Oakland has a lot of black folks? It's shameful. All right, completely shameful. I have never perceived Oakland that way. Period. I have never perceived Oakland that way. And anybody who has any ounce of pride in Oakland disagrees with that. Okay? So, but he said that. And let me get the link so you can read the post. I would appreciate it if you read the post. That I'm about to present, and here it is, right here. Right, post in big letters with an arrow, and there it is. Okay, and so NHL Trump writes, "It's sad though the common fan will be priced out at that arena." Yep, that's right. Evan Forever writes, "The Warriors left Oakland straight up for cash and to clean their blackness." Yes. They moved to SF to clean up their black community fan base. The Warriors are being whitewashed. Yeah. And that's a trend that has happened around the United States. The Atlanta Braves were this close. Excuse me. The Atlanta Braves did do that when they went from Turner Field to their new facility in city U.S. In Cobb County, suburban Cobb County, their baseball facility. The Atlanta Hawks came close to doing that, but didn't. The Atlanta Falcons considered it. But the difference between Atlanta and Oakland is that a great deal of political pressure was placed on Arthur Blank, in his case, and the Atlanta Hawks, in their case, ownership, to keep the teams in Atlanta, to send the message that, hey, we support a city that is predominantly black. Whereas Oakland has always had an issue with being black. I remember even when I was writing for the Montclarian, and I said that what Oakland needs is, because we didn't have it at the time that I was writing in 1994, we had, if you were white and moneyed, you lived in the hills. You didn't live downtown. And what I wrote was that we needed a group of enlightened white folks who would live downtown, who would spend money in Oakland, who wouldn't leak it someplace else, because that we didn't have that kind of economic diversity. And I meant that. At that time in '94, I was writing for the Montclarian. I put out a 60 question survey. This is when snail mail was used in the Montclarian. I got back 600 filled out surveys. 600, okay? And 600, okay? And when the question number 41, if memory serves, no, that wasn't 41, it was 34, but excuse me, 64. The question was a 70 question survey, not 60, but the question was a write-in. It was, why did you move to Oakland? And 64% of the people wrote in diversity. They wrote that in. Think about it. That was 1994, and they wrote it in. So we were already attracting the kind of person, regardless of color, who prized diversity. Okay, that's been Oakland's strength. And so it is tearfully sad that we have sports organizations, for the most part, except the A's, because they're working to stay here hard, that didn't embrace that. It's very sobering. But I think moving forever, I think you're right. Right. I think you're absolutely right. Sean Grogan says, what year? I thought I answered this question. What year did the arena get renovated? 98. And it wasn't just the inside. Nima Forever says, everyone who is a Warriors fan in the East Bay should honestly join the Sacramento Kings fan base. You know, it's a good idea. But here's the thing. I don't want to. Oakland deserves its own NBA team. The Bay Area is large enough to support it. If Sacramento can have the Kings, considering its metropolitan statistical area size, then the much larger, basically gargantuan San Francisco Bay Area can certainly support another NBA team. Sean Grogan goes on to say, once Clay went out, I knew it was over. Yeah, that a lot of people did. You could just feel the air, collective air go out. Sean Grogan says, sports are moving toward corporate, not for the casual fan anymore. It's all business now, taking the fun out of sports. Yep. Raider Gann says, as far as racism goes, Drake wore blackface but somehow got a pass. I didn't see that. I did not see that. And I'm not saying I didn't see that as if Jake is okay. That's not something he should do. I don't support racism regardless of where it comes from. Sorry, just don't. Raider Gans then says, Raiders and Warriors leaving is the final chess move for gentrification in Oakland. Can I borrow that term? Raiders and Warriors leaving is the final chess move for gentrification in Oakland. I agree with you. Dean Willie says, I'm not happy with the move to SF. I hear you. Cowboy Wrestler, how you doing? Cowboy Wrestler says, the new Rams Stadium is contributing to gentrification in Inglewood. I saw the headline, but I haven't read it in depth. Cowboy Wrestler then adds, yes, totally agree. Oakland needs its own NBA and NHL team. Thank you for throwing that in there. Yeah, my fear is that we've forgotten how to do economic development, you know? We really have. This is the last year. And here's what's sad about this. Let's say the Warriors come back at full strength next season. Who's to say they won't go back to the NBA Finals? But this time, where will stuff be? San Francisco. I mean, you know it. Instead of Lake Merritt, and the reason why is because when the Warriors won their first of the string of championships in 2015, during the finals, there was a great deal of pressure put on the NBA and the network, to ESPN and ABC and all the networks are involved to show Oakland. And that's really how, and the Warriors, thankfully, led the charge to do that. They basically set up shop at Lake Merritt and had their party there, encouraged ESPN to have its broadcast there, everything, okay? And, you know, hats off to the Warriors for that. The Warriors headquarters will remain in Oakland, as I understand it. But how long is that going to last? You know, how long is that going to last? And so Cowboy Wrestler says, I'm old enough to remember the San Francisco Warriors. And Dean Wilson says, Cowboy Wrestler, Oakland had Golden Seals NHL team from 67 to 76. Yep. Kevin KD, haven't seen you in a while. Kevin KD says, KD, talking about Kevin Durant, probably does not trust the Warriors organization anymore. He'll probably opt in and take his $31 million and sit out the season. I don't know what he's going to do. That's interesting. You say they don't trust because they told him to go? You know, I've long thought this, and I've expressed it before. I felt that the Warriors being the analytics types, right? I thought they did a calculation and said, I've said this before, that, hey, we can literally run him into the ground. Because remember, he was playing a ton of minutes. Remember that? I think it was averaging something like, 42 minutes a game, something like that, before he got injured. It's like they were running him into the ground and they weren't spreading it out. And I believe that they, and I still hold, they were running him into the ground knowing full well it would reduce his trade value. Because how can you negotiate for a guy at the max who's got an Achilles problem or a calf problem, torn calf and Achilles? Now he's got 2 injuries, okay? So they turned around and said, okay, I mean, that's how I look at it. Because to me, I don't blame the Warriors for what happened on Monday. I blame the Warriors for what happened during the season that led up to his leg being weak. That style of play and their allowance and use of him, it's kind of like a running quarterback, right? Or like the Redskins are treating RG3, just going to run him into the ground until we will run him into the ground and not give him a chance to really get out there because Mike Shanahan didn't really want to have a black quarterback anyway. You heard me. I have asserted it before, and I say it again. He had issues with having a black quarterback because Mike Shanahan is one of these guys who thinks he's automatically smarter than somebody black, whereas I think I'm automatically smarter than Mike Shanahan. So, and I like his son. I like Kyle, but his dad came off in a way that I did not appreciate. And I'm talking about personally when I was asking him questions when he was coaching the Broncos about why he employed a 5-wide receiver offense, and as opposed, and when he was having a tight end go down, and it was a technical question, and he was visibly annoyed that I asked a technical question. Now, why would a normal person be visibly annoyed about that? You know what I mean? It's like, seriously? But he did, okay? Wow. So, all right. I'm going to go back to your comments. MC Too Tall says, when they go to San Francisco, or San Fran as he puts it, they won't pick up the San Francisco title. They'll still call themselves the Golden State Warriors as a marketing strategy. I agree. And I certainly hope that holds. Okay? I certainly hope that holds. Sean Grogan says, I hate when they televise Oakland teams, they show footage of San Francisco. Sean, all of us do. And that's what led to this charge of so much of Oakland being shown. But see, now that the Warriors are going to San Francisco, guess what? They don't have to worry about that anymore. That's sad. Oakland will have no idea what is given up until they feel it. Until the city people feel it, the elected officials who are in charge feel, and they'll just say, oh, damn, if they're aware of anything. It's sad. It's very sad. Kevin KD says, I never thought of it that way. It would make sense that they would run down Kevin Durant's trade value to make it harder for him to leave. What happened to RG3 was real unfair. Yeah, it was criminal. Calvary says, what? Mike Shanahan? No. Yes. Sean Grogan says, our starters played a lot of minutes because our bench wasn't very strong. But my point is, the bench wasn't very strong, but look, you can make a lot of mid-season trades and acquisitions, to offset that. So I'm wondering, was it that, or was it that they were so in love with their starting 5 that they didn't stop to think that, hey, you know what? There's a chink in the armor. And the chink in the armor is what happens if they get injured and they're not available. Because we're asking them to do so much. I think it was ESPN did a calculation that Steph Curry runs something like 8 miles a game, and because of the kind of offense that they play. And most other systems don't run that kind of style. You notice that the Raptors have a few plays like that, but not in entirety. Okay? And so Raider Gann says, I've torn my Achilles before. You can't predict that injury, but I do blame the Warriors for giving up their bench, which led to Clay and KD and the rest of the starters not getting rest. And I blame the Warriors for not engineering a strong bench. They went through a lot of people. Remember we had the fellow that dated Iggy Azalea, not Snooky, not Snoopy, not Shaggy P, Shaggy P. Okay, we had Shaggy P. Uh, we have a revolving door of players, and guess what? Lonzo Ball is supposedly on the trading block. You know what I think the Warriors should do? I think the Warriors should go out and get Lonzo Ball. I said it. I'll say it again. I think the Warriors should engineer should somehow try to work a three-way trade where Lonzo goes to the Knicks and then he goes from the Knicks back to the Warriors, right? Some sneaky thing. I would move heaven and earth to get Lonzo Ball, you know. Um, and so Cowboy says Al Davis hated Mike Shanahan. He did, and then he does Cowboy Wrestler. He says, sadly, if the NBA awards an expansion team in the Bay Area, it would reward to the city down south. I disagree. I disagree. There's no proven, why do that? Because technically, that city down south, here's why that wouldn't happen. That city down south arguably cuts in the Warriors fan base in the same way that a baseball team down there would cut into the Giants fan base. The San Francisco Giants have said so. So you're better off in Oakland with an arena that only needs a few modifications to be brought up to state-of-the-art position. NHL Trump says, sad to see Oakland lose professional basketball for good. I still remember the We Believe 2007 Lawyers. Ditto. Raider Gans says, Barbosa Swaggy P. Thank you very much, Raider Gans. Thank you. Jordan Yancey says, do you think Clay will come back after tearing his ACL? Yes. Cabarrus says, Z, I was thinking the same thing regarding Ball. I think Lonzo Ball would prove to be one of the best acquisitions in Warriors history with Steve Kerr. I really do. Steve Kerr with the Splash Brothers, with Kevin Durant. I think he would be an amazing addition. Be absolutely incredible. And so Kevin KD says Livingston, Iguodala, and I think Bogut are retiring after this season. Iguodala says he's coming back. Bogut I can see. Sean Livingston I can see, but Iguodala has made it clear he's coming back. Angel says San Francisco has become a literal mess. I have no idea what that has anything to do with this conversation. So Angel, stick on point or I'm going to boot you. Sean Grogan says, who would you give up for Ball? No thanks. Okay, I would. That's a good question. Let me put it this way. Doggone well the Lakers are not going to make a straight up trade with us. So it would have to be a three-way. You would have to it would have to be a package deal with another team. I don't know who this is. I'm thinking off the top of my head. So that you get that team to engineer the deal, right? They bring in Ball, like sign and trade, and then he comes to the Warriors. But the Lakers are not just going to give him up to the Warriors that way. I mean, hey, look, you could try it, but you would say, who would you give up to the Lakers? Okay, we're not giving up Curry. We're not giving up Kevin Durant. We're not giving up Klay Thompson. Okay, we're not giving up Draymond Green because he's to me the heart of the Warriors. That guy is an igniter. He might get a T a few times, but Draymond Green is to me arguably the heart of the Warriors. Okay, so Jordan Yang says no deal. I love it. MC2 Saul says there was a YouTuber had a theory that the series was blown to push for resurgence of expansion into Canada with Drake as the poster boy for all this. I could see that. And you know what that would, but here's the thing. If that's the case, are you willing to tell me that some of those games were fixed, or there was an attempt by the reps to fix those games with all of the non-calls that we saw the Raptors get away with? if that's the case and it can be proven, I don't know what the NBA's future would look like if people actually realized the game that they were watching was rigged. Now, maybe it would be so entertaining they wouldn't care. Maybe we have a society that's so pliant it doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't know. Raider Lou 1990, how you doing? Raider Lou says, at least I have one less team to worry about. I'll just be a fan of basketball. Jordan Yancey again says, no deal. Kevin KD says, MC too tall. I felt that way with how the refs have been calling the games throughout the series. I think MC too tall has a theory there. Because Drake brings in the millennials, right? Where are you going to expand? So you expand to Vancouver. You know what? I think that's a theory that I'm going to piggyback on. I need to do some research first. Stephen Rosenthal says, Kevin, Katie, and Thompson are gone. When you say are gone, can you explain that, please, sir? Welcome. Cowboy says, media is overhyping the Lakers again. It's L.A. MC Tootsall says, that would be a Black Sox scandal of the hardwood. Cowboy Wrestler says, Stephen Rosenthal, possibly Durant, but not Thompson. I can't see Kevin Durant leaving. I just can't. Okay? I can't see Kevin Durant leaving for one reason. That new stadium and $2 billion in sponsorships it's gotten. $2 billion. He only needs 200 million, 250 million. He's good as golden. That's it. That stadium is a cash machine. Why would any player in his right mind run away from a cash machine? That doesn't make any sense to me. Unless he hated the Warriors that much, and he doesn't. Okay? He doesn't. Sean Grogan asks, how many goaltending the Raptors get away with? Yeah, more than they should have. Cabrera says Montreal would be the next logical expansion city. MC Too Tall said they tried Vancouver, flop. That's true, they did. That's right. Marvin McKee says, talks about free agency. Kevin KD, hi, I remember the Vancouver Grizzlies. I do too. And I forgot, though, in this conversation that the Vancouver Grizzlies became the Memphis Grizzlies, so there you go. Kevin KD says, Steve Rosenthal says they're going to Memphis. And going to Memphis for what? Because Memphis has a team, Steve. So when you say that, what do you mean? When they're going to Memphis? The Memphis has the Grizzlies. Steve Grogan says, I believe the injuries to KD and Clay work in the Dubs' favor. How? Kevin KD says, Stephen Smith keeps pushing the silly narrative of Kevin Durant to the Knicks with Kyrie. Yeah, I think that's an invention in his mind. I don't think that's something that... Look, I don't think that's something that works in the Knicks' stead. The Knicks, to me, are just not well run. Okay? And, I said it before, I'll say it again. Messiah Siri deserves all the credit for ripping the team apart, firing Dwayne Casey, which I still am shocked over. Because it begs the question, could he have done the same thing with Dwayne Casey and yet adding Kawhi Leonard? Right? At any rate, Kevin KD says that. Cowboy Wrestler says Calgary, Winnipeg, and even Ottawa are possibilities. That's something else. That is something else. I'll have to think about that. Big time. All right. It is... Oh. Cowboy says Kyrie is going to Brooklyn. He's staying as far away from that dumpster fire in Midtown. Stephen Rosenthal adds, if KD and Thompson bring the title to Memphis, they'd be the biggest thing in Tennessee. Okay. Now I see what you're getting at. History needs to team up in Memphis. But can Memphis afford them? All right? And you have to remember something. They made their bones in the Warriors style. Now, you would shoot back, wait a minute, a lot of teams play the Warriors style now. Okay, I get that. But I don't see the sense in them leaving just to leave. What's particularly Clay, who's such a major part of the community. What's the point? Is it that maybe you don't like the Warriors executive board? Maybe you think the executive board is a bunch of racist white folks? I mean, what's the point? Okay. Um, what is it? And MC2 Tall says moving to Memphis had to be said in jest because that's where the other Canadian NBA teams moved to. Yeah. Other Canadian team moved to. Dean Willie says Seattle and Vegas most likely will be next NBA expansion cities. As far as I'm concerned, Oakland should. You say, why are you pausing, Zenny? I'm pausing because I would like Oakland to form a plan to get an expansion, not just say, all right? And I need to do some research. That'll be a great classic blog post. Here's how Oakland can get an NBA expansion team. That would be the title of it. And I say that because Las Vegas, and I talked about this the night before, is adding sports teams left and right, adding facilities left and right, to the detriment of Las Vegas Stadium and the Raiders. Okay? So you have to really give them credit. The Las Vegas City Council voted unanimously to give a go-ahead to a 25,000-seat soccer stadium. No muss, no fuss. Boom, do it. I admire Las Vegas when it doesn't impact my team. And even when it does, I still admire them, Just gotta say. I just gotta say. MC2 Saul says, I'm out of loop. The Sonics aren't in Seattle anymore. Whoa, dude, the Seattle Supersonics became the Oklahoma City Thunder. In fact, what the NBA did was they had the owners, the eventual owners of the OKC Thunder, do a ticket test or sales test, and I think they sold 6,000 tickets in 30 minutes or something like that, an hour. It was a really fast rate. It wowed the NBA, and they said, okay, this is where we're going. And so, if memory serves, Myron McGee says he wants the Oakland Black Panthers. Okay. Raider Lou says, cowboy wrestler, I don't understand why. And he says, Raider Lou, you don't understand why Seattle but not Vegas? Raider Lou. MC2 Saw says, a perfect name for an Oakland team, the Oakland Panthers. Hey, actually, the Oakland Panthers name will be the name of the Freedom Football League team. If you want to hear about it, you come to the right place. Zenny62, right here, has, if you type Zenny62, Freedom Oakland Panthers. That's all you have to do. And you can hear my interview with JJ Lastly talking about just that. Okay. MC2 Saw says, that's where the Thunder came from. Bingo. Jordan Yancey says, you must stop watching basketball in the 90s. Talking about me? Well, even if you aren't talking about me, I'll say this. No. No, I will not do that. Oh, what a sad day. Oh, just sad, Wow. Well, by the way, this Beto sticker doesn't mean that I'm supporting Beto O'Rourke or not. I just happened to get it as I want to keep it as a souvenir because I thought it looked so cool. And it was given to me at the California Democratic Convention. But hey, I don't think Beto can beat Dono. I don't think Beto can beat Joe Biden. Just saying. Now, I just delved into politics for those of you in a second. So if you want to open up there you go. Boom. But you'll probably be very surprised at what I'm going to say if I say something more about that. Anyway, Jordan Yancey says he was talking about the Supersonics. Oh, that's right. Thank you. MC2 Saw says, Jordan, so I could stop cursing at Pippen and waiting for Yuri to get his ring now. Sweet. Oh, so sweet. Oh my God. Hey, you watch Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen is down at some coffee shop that I recognize in Oakland. And I'm trying to figure out where this is. It's kind of like, what is this? Hold on, let me give you a quick shot of what I'm talking about here. Let's see that there. Okay. All right. I know that place. Is that in Berkeley? I'm trying to figure out, where that is. Okay. If anybody's online and you have a chance to figure out, Jalen and Jacoby, or Google that, and then type Berkeley, maybe you can figure out where they're at. Now he's got all these people who've walked in. They're like, oh yeah, check this out. This is hilarious. This was done, I guess, this morning, right? Yeah, check this out. This is the fun, all right? This is kind of the fun. You could now you see him over. Oh, my camera, it won't move anyway. Sorry about that. It's kind of the fun of having them around here, Oakland's gonna miss all that. Cabrera says this has to be some of the saddest nights in Oakland. It is. Dean Willie says, I've been a Warriors fan since 1976, and I don't think I can switch teams. No. It is very sad. It's sad that, this didn't have to happen, all right? As far as I'm, this didn't have to happen. It really didn't. And yet we let it happen. It was sad in so many ways. It was very, very sad. Cal Russell says this has to be one of the saddest nights in Oakland. Yeah. I'm trying to remember a sadder. Oh, I remember. I'll tell you, but I wasn't in Oakland when it happened. But it was sad for Oakland. And, of course, it was the March 27th NFL ownership vote allowing the Raiders to begin the process of moving to Las Vegas. That was sadder. Okay? And it was sadder because I remember Libby had... Everyone thought that... And I thought, not everyone, because you didn't know this, but I'll just say I thought that Libby was going to send an 11th hour deal at 5 o'clock in the morning, or show up in Phoenix demanding to speak to the NFL ownership, offering a deal right then and there, and just turning everything around, right? But no. And I remember Dan Calb telling me, this is on camera. He said to me, you all, the Raiders better hurry up and make up their mind, because I think there's a tech organization that wants that property. That's what he said. In other words, hey, it's not about us negotiating with you. We'll be okay without you. That was the message that he sent out there. And I heard that from Michael Colbruno, who was at that time the president of the Port Commission, and a number of people. So yeah, as much as the Raiders were dishonest with Oakland about what the Raiders wanted, there was a group of city council people who were so sick of the whole thing, and all they saw were dollar signs with all the land. And if you were to say in the next breath, you mean we're contributing to the high housing costs that have created the homeless situation? Yeah. And by the way, politically, they're all progressives. Think about it. The same progressives that would, preach housing for everybody, health care for everyone, have no problem giving up land to build more market rate housing rather than solve the homeless problem. Think about that. Or, more tech office space. Oh, as long as we can bid up the land, it's great. More property tax revenue. Yay. Jeez. Wow. As Cowboy Wrestler just wrote, fake progressives. Ding. Yep. Cowboy Wrestler says both sides' hands were dirty. True words have never been written. MC Too Tall, I'll go back because I think I missed some of your comments, so bear with me. And let's see here. It says, when the Raiders moved to LA in '82, that was pretty sad. Yes. History was repeating itself, unfortunately. And you know what they say? Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it, right? MC Too Tall wrote that they exhausted the bench and wore down their starters anyway, talking about the Warriors. Dean Willie said, I've been a Warrior since 1976, and I don't think I can switch to an Oakland expansion team. But what about the satisfaction of beating the Warriors with that expansion team? I'm just saying, okay? Why not set up a heck of a rivalry which will reinvigorate the Bay Area sports community and, hey, sell a lot of tickets? Why not? Why not? Especially if they happen to be called the Oakland Invaders. So we have the Oakland Invaders Arena Football League team, which could happen. And we have the Oakland Invaders basketball team. We're just invaders, man. We just invade. You know what I mean? That would be so cool. That would be awesomely cool. And MC Tussaud says, I'm a Bengals fan in New York, but the Raiders moved to LA was pretty sad too. Agreed, it was. But I always believed the Raiders would be back. I always felt that had an empty feeling to it, that move. The reason is that the city then, unlike now, was really busting its butt to get the Raiders back. Oakland then did not like to lose, okay? The city administration didn't like losses. Oakland was known for using creative financing to solve problems in the city. This administration is not like that. I'm not blaming Libby. I'm just saying that, look, Gene, Libby, Ron Dellums, we have almost a generation of leaders who did not exhibit and have not yet exhibited, because I'm going to give my god sister a chance here for obvious reasons, the best of Oakland in terms of creative financing. Still can do it, all right? But I say that with this gigantic but. If Libby gets the Oakland A's deal for a new stadium done, it will all but wash away the other problem. Like, all but. I'm not saying it'll be the complete solve. 75%, maybe 50%. In any case, it'll be huge when people see that beautiful stadium complete at Jack London's waterfront, at Howard Terminal. Whew. Okay. Reading more of your comments. Cowboy says, by the late 80s, Al was getting tired of LA. Well, I think what happened was that the LA County Coliseum Commission had reneged on the deal to give him, Mr. Davis, the luxury boxes he sought after. And remember the pay-per-view that he went down there to get. Very similar situation when we were talking about history repeating itself, right? Mark Davis has essentially walked into a similar situation. However, he's getting his stadium. He's getting suites. But the question is, will he get the gambling? I'm not saying it's not going to be done, but that's not talked about. Because Mark Davis did all this for gambling. All right? So, MC Too Tall says, that's true. The city administration didn't like letting things slip away like that. No. I remember when Cirque du Soleil in 1996 was making noises about the rent in San Francisco. I contacted them, and unbeknownst to me, then Oakland District 4 Councilmember Dick Spees reached out to Cirque du Soleil. We found out that the other person was doing the same thing. We joined forces, and we got Cirque du Soleil to leave San Francisco and come to Oakland. Yeah. All right. That's the kind of warfare we were fighting. That's economic development warfare. And the problem I have is that Oakland let Ed Lee in San Francisco do that in reverse with the Warriors and did nothing about it. We just let them punch us. If I had been Gene Kwan, I'd have had a lawsuit flying out the door and hitting the city of San Francisco and my friend and former client Ed Lee right there. Boom. You can't do that. You're tampering. What are you doing? That's economic tampering. A novel idea, right? For a lawsuit. Just saying. But it is economic tampering because you're tampering with the city's ability to make tax money from the existence of the team to offset what it's spending on the team. You rob, and that expenditure, as you know, is going to remain. That's why the Warriors lost in court, against the city in this arbitration matter regarding their failure to pay the $40 million that they owe us. And according to Councilman Rebecca Kaplan, they're still not paying it. Bad stuff. Here you got, think about this. I want everybody to think about this for a moment, okay? Look. The Warriors cleared $2 billion with a B. With a B. In sponsorships for Chase Center. You mean to tell me they can't give the city of Oakland $40 million? Come on. Wow. Come on. Okay? Cowboy Wrestler says the LA Coliseum back in the 80s and the early 90s was very dangerous. I know because I used to work there. Well, that's the USC area. And I parked over there to go to a USC game when Cal played USC. And sadly, it's very near the area where Oakland District 3 councilmember, my councilmember, Lynette Gibson McElhaney's son was murdered just earlier this year. So, yeah. Dean Willie says it would be cool to have an NHL team in Oakland. It certainly would. Well, it's been almost an hour. I'm going to close this down. Anybody have parting thoughts, parting shots? What you got? I'm anxious to hear and read what you have to say. Well, I can't hear it. What a sad outcome. Very sad. So where do we go from here? Oh, I think the mayor put out a tweet on Twitter, which read as follows. Let me go and get it. One moment, please. Oh, let's see here. All right. We the North. Yeah. All right. Here, okay. Mayor Schaaf says, Oakland, this is 3 hours ago. Oakland will always root for the gritty, the authentic, the resilient. Thank you forever, Warriors. Congratulations to the new champions, Toronto Raptors. Hashtag We the North. Hashtag strength in numbers forever. And I will tweet that out. Oh, by the way, the person that won the mayor's auction was Daniel Lynn. Congrats to Daniel Lynn. Enjoy your ticket to Game 6. We will raise $7,200, which will allow the Alameda County Food Bank to provide over 17,000 meals to those in need. Hashtag strength in numbers. Not bad, not bad. So that went very well. And I was happy to put out a couple of posts to help out in that effort. Okay. Parting thoughts. Oh, here we go. Okay. And Sean Grogan says, "Thank you, Oakland, for the Raiders and the Dubs. Forever, Oakland." MC Too Tall says, or writes, "I've been following your channel for about 10 years. Whoa, thank you. Oh, thank you. Glad to finally interact like this with you. MC Too Tall, God bless you. That made my day. You know, it really did. Thank you." Cowboy Rush says, "Z, South LA is a Greek tragedy. Some of the things that happen in this area of Los Angeles is tragic." You know, why is it allowed to exist that way? I mean, why is it? Maybe we'll talk about that another time. Should I wake up at 3:30 in the morning and go to First Take? I'm thinking no. But I don't care. I mean, it's like, I got you guys, I got my thing. They're not asking me to be on there. And I went by there, so I did my post-mortem, I guess, in a sense. And I was supposed to be on a flight tomorrow night to go back to Georgia. Can't wait to see my mom. You know, Cowboy Wrestler says, "Forever Oakland, good night." Oh, good night, Cowboy Wrestler. Thanks, man. Forever Oakland. Yeah, Oakland's got to come together. We got to make something. We got to make this happen. We have to turn the water into wine. We can't go down like this. You know, we cannot go down like this. We have to have focus. We have to have special glasses that allow us to see things that others refuse to see. I'm not kidding. Okay. Kevin KD says, "Kawhi can head to the Clippers now that he's delivered Toronto the championship he promised them." Hey, let me ask you. I mean, just let me ask you this. What about Kawhi Leonard to the Warriors? Ah! I mean, you know, what about it? Possible? Huh? I'm just, just put that out there. Is it, possible? What do you say? And no, I'm not drunk, but basically I'm probably already, like, naturally that way. But, what do you say? Kevin KD says, "Quiet of the Warriors would be a nice fit." Wouldn't that be cool? Kawhi Leonard paired with Kevin Durant. That reminds me of that Snoop Dogg line where it says, "Compton and Long Beach, you know we got trouble." Oh my gosh. All right, somebody stop me. Okay. It is now, yeah, it's about an hour. I'm going to shuffle off the buffalo and go to sleep. You know, folks, MSC Two tosses exactly. Oakland was a city of fighters. If these people have to be voted out to keep your teams, then so be it. Imagine losing the A's. Oh, no. Jordan Yancey says, "I don't think Kawhi is leaving Toronto." He seems like he's got a good thing there, but I don't know what's going through his mind, because when he was asked what winning a championship would mean in Toronto by a reporter, he says, no, you have to go and ask the fans. Now, if he felt, now that, to me, what that says two things. Yeah, it was an interesting response. It was technically true. But it says to me that you are not really one with the city. Because if you were one with the city, you would have said, "Oh, this is what it means." Now, someone else will say, "Well, how do you expect? He just got there." And he could leave. He came, he saw, he conquered. Goodbye. That could happen. This is going to be an interesting off season. I'll see you all. Good night. I'll say good night. Good night. Good night. Good night, all. MC Too Tall says, "Bring him to the Knicks. I'll take him." Good night, sir. Good night, all. I'm going to do some edits here to this and then bow out for a second. Good night. And again, thanks. As far as tomorrow night and tomorrow, I will do at least one live stream toward the evening and at the airport. So I'm writing like live stream talk. Live stream talk. And what I'm writing here is okay. And what I'm writing here is my conversation with Zinny62 on YouTube live viewers about the Toronto Raptors. Oh, none of you ever told me if you thought you should go to ESPN First Take, by the way. I guess not. About the Toronto Raptors NBA Finals 2019 win over the... And think about this, the Warriors are defending champions. Over the defending champion Golden State Warriors. Watch and please add your own comments in the video or this blog post. Stay tuned. That's what I wrote. Okay. Saving. Voila. Oh, and I have to change it so that goes people in fogs to sports. Save. All right. All right, folks. I'll go back and get your comments real quick. Let's see here. Let's see here. Predator Kingdom says, hey, Predator. He says, Kawhi is definitely not leaving Toronto. He can win the next 3 or 4 chips easily and then go west to finish his career. All right. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm out. Salute. I salute.